Hello, Golden State Warriors fan. We're back with an exclusive video bringing you the latest updates. First of all, subscribe to the channel and like the video. It's crucial for you to stay informed with the news daily. Without further ado, let's get to the news. The NBA world was caught completely off guard when a clip surfaced from a recent interview with Steve Kerr, the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, where he allegedly stated in a firm and almost shocking tone, "This player will not wear the Warriors jersey again." The name that followed, according to the whispers circulating in team circles, was none other than Jonathan Kuminga. The young forward, full of energy, potential, and athletic explosiveness, has long been seen as the future bridge between the fading dynasty of Curry, Thompson, and Green and the new wave of Golden State talent. For Kerr to say something so final, so absolute, and so pointed toward one of the brightest prospects on the roster created a storm of speculation that immediately hit social media like wildfire. Fans could not believe it, some even questioning if the quote was real or taken out of context, but the buzz grew. Rumors of locker room clashes, unhappiness with playing time, or differences in mentality have been floating for months. Now, this single sentence dropped gasoline on a fire that was already threatening to get out of control within the Warriors' loyal fan base. What makes this entire story even more fascinating is the history between Kerr and young developing players. He has always been praised for creating an environment where talents can flourish, but critics have noted that sometimes he struggles with giving consistent roles to players who need steady minutes to grow. Kuminga, who arrived in the league with enormous hype and undeniable tools, has often been placed in situations where his defensive energy was praised, but his offensive freedom was curtailed. At times, fans begged for Kerr to simply let Kuminga run the floor, attack the rim, and become the athletic spark plug that his natural game suggests. Instead, minutes were often restricted, roles limited, and frustration simmered quietly behind polite interviews. For Kerr, a coach who values ball movement, IQ, and system adherence, there may have been a philosophical clash with Kuminga's raw, athletic, isolation-heavy tendencies. So when the alleged declaration came out, many insiders connected the dots, wondering if this was simply the result of months of growing disconnect between player and coach that had finally reached an irreversible boiling point. From a perspective of the organization, the situation puts the Warriors in a tricky spot. Kuminga is still on a rookie-scale contract, which means his value as a trade piece is enormous compared to his salary slot. Teams around the league are constantly searching for wings with his kind of length, agility, and upside. If Golden State were indeed moving on from him, they would surely find a market filled with suitors willing to send back valuable assets. But at the same time, parting with him would be an admission that the team is focusing entirely on the present, clinging to the twilight years of Curry and Green instead of trying to balance winning now with building a core for the future. That philosophical divide has haunted the front office for years, especially after moving on from James Wiseman. With Kuminga, it feels like the same story repeating. A highly drafted, gifted young piece who may not fit the old guard's immediate needs, and therefore becomes expendable in pursuit of another playoff push that may or may not even deliver the ultimate prize. The fan reaction has been both emotional and divided. Some are furious at the thought of losing Kuminga, arguing that Kerr and the Warriors system simply failed to adapt to the strengths of a young talent who could become a star elsewhere. They point out examples of former Warriors who left and blossomed in new environments, warning that the team could regret this decision for years to come. On the other hand, there are voices within the fan base who argue that if Kuminga is unhappy, and if the coaching staff truly cannot see eye to eye with him, then it is better to move on now while his value is high. This split has created heated debates across social platforms, podcasts, and YouTube channels, with countless fans weighing in on what direction the franchise should take. Some claim Kerr is showing signs of stubbornness, unwilling to embrace change, while others defend him as a coach who has always prioritized the team's culture and system above individual ambitions. This ongoing war of opinions only amplifies the mystery surrounding the entire situation. The timing of Kerr's remark, if true, could not be more critical. The Warriors are hovering in a delicate place within the Western Conference standings, battling both injuries and inconsistency. Every win matters. Every rotation decision matters. And the last thing the franchise needs is a distraction of this magnitude overshadowing the season. Yet here they are, with national media outlets dissecting every syllable of KERR's statement, trying to analyze whether it was a slip of the tongue, an intentional warning shot, or a genuine declaration that signals a massive roster shakeup on the horizon. The pressure on the front office to either confirm or deny the situation is immense, but their silence so far has only fueled speculation. If there was ever a moment where clarity could calm the storm, this would be it. Instead, uncertainty grows, and with every passing day, the future of Kuminga in a Warriors jersey looks less like a possibility and more like a fading dream. To add more intrigue, insiders claim that some veterans within the Warriors' locker room have quietly voiced their frustrations with how the younger players approach the game. Whether that includes Kuminga specifically is unknown, but whispers of generational differences and culture clashes are common in sports when established champions share the floor with ambitious newcomers. Steve Kerr has always emphasized harmony, respect, and accountability. But at times that harmony can be difficult to maintain when roles feel undefined and expectations are unclear. For a player like Kuminga, who believes he is ready to take a bigger leap, being told to wait his turn behind legends can feel suffocating. If Kerr indeed decided that enough is enough, it might be because he felt the balance of the locker room was at risk, and sometimes coaches choose culture over talent. But the question remains, is it the right call for the franchise? Because while culture sustains, talent wins games. And in the NBA, letting go of special talent can be a decision that haunts a team long after the headlines fade. What adds another fascinating layer to this rumor is how the Warriors' history of player development has unfolded during the dynasty years. When you look at the way young prospects have come and gone, there seems to be a recurring theme. Not many truly stick. From Patrick McCaw to Jacob Evans, from James Wiseman to Eric Paschall, the pattern suggests that Golden State, while excellent at maximizing stars and role players, has struggled to fully integrate high-upside prospects into their system. The organization thrives when it comes to veterans who understand the motion offense, defensive rotations, and unselfish ball movement. But when it comes to developing raw, high-ceiling players, the record is less impressive. This is why the Kuminga situation feels eerily similar to past disappointments. He has the talent, the drive, and the tools. But if he cannot find harmony within Kerr's vision, he risks becoming another casualty of a system built primarily to serve its established core. This narrative raises the question of whether the Warriors can truly evolve into a two-track team, one that competes today while also building for tomorrow. Fans who have closely followed Kuminga's journey know how hard he has worked to improve. Coming into the league as a raw but powerful athlete, he has developed flashes of a strong mid-range jumper, improved defensive awareness, and the ability to finish plays above the rim in spectacular fashion. Highlights of him shutting down star wings or igniting fast breaks with thunderous dunks are reminders of just how much he brings to the table. Yet in crucial moments, Kerr often looked past him, turning instead to trusted veterans like Andrew Wiggins, Gary Payton II, or even smaller guards playing out of position. That decision-making has been criticized heavily, with fans believing that the only way for Kuminga to truly reach his ceiling is to play through mistakes and be given a defined role. Without that, he risks stagnation, becoming a player who shows flashes but never consistently impacts winning. The frustration from watching those minutes vanish on the bench is something both Kuminga and the fans have had to swallow, but perhaps this recent rumor signals that patience has run out on both sides. The trade speculation surrounding this situation is impossible to ignore. If Kerr is firm in his stance, the Warriors' front office will almost certainly test the market for Kuminga, and the list of potential destinations could be extensive. Imagine a team like the Toronto Raptors, who love versatile forwards, or the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are building a young, athletic core with endless upside. Even the Indiana Pacers, always looking for two-way wings, could jump into the sweepstakes. The return package for Kuminga could range from draft picks to rotation-ready veterans, depending on whether the Warriors want to lean toward the future or the present. Some insiders believe Golden State could target rim protection or shooting depth, areas of need that might help Curry maximize what's left of his prime. But any deal involving Kuminga would come with risk. If he blossoms into a star elsewhere, the Warriors' decision would be viewed as short-sighted, another sign of a franchise clinging too tightly to its aging champions instead of embracing evolution. That fear of regret is what makes the situation so electrifying to watch unfold. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. Of course, there are those who believe the story is being exaggerated. Was Kerr's statement really as definitive as reported? Or was it perhaps misinterpreted in the heat of conversation? Coaches often speak with emotion after games or practices, and words can sometimes be amplified when filtered through the rumor mill. It is entirely possible that Kerr's intention was to deliver a wake-up call to Kuminga, a motivational tactic rather than a literal dismissal. NBA history is full of players who heard tough word from coaches and responded with renewed focus, eventually carving out bigger roles. If this is one of those moments, then perhaps the storm will pass, and Kuminga will return to the floor with greater determination. But if the quote is as definitive as it sounded, then fans may have already witnessed Kuminga's final moments in a Warriors jersey. That uncertainty, that thin line between motivation and rejection, is what makes this rumor so intriguing to dissect. As the days go by, without clarification, the spotlight grows hotter. National pundits are dedicating entire segments to debating whether Kerr made the right move, if the Warriors' front office should intervene, or if this entire saga is simply a miscommunication blown out of proportion. What cannot be denied is the emotional weight the situation carries for fans. Jonathan Kuminga represents hope, energy, and the possibility of transition into a new era. For a fan base that knows the dynasty clock is ticking, the thought of losing that bridge to the future feels painful. On the flip side, the loyalty to Curry, Thompson, and Green runs so deep that many supporters trust Kerr implicitly, believing that if he truly feels Kuminga cannot be part of the culture, then the decision must be respected. This tug-of-war between nostalgia, loyalty, and future building creates a perfect storm of opinions, fueling endless discussions across every sports platform imaginable. In the end, whether Jonathan Kuminga's time with the Warriors is truly over or if this is simply another dramatic chapter in the long NBA season, one truth remains: the Warriors are at crossroads. Steve Kerr's rumored declaration might be a spark that pushes the front office into making a move, or it might fade into nothing more than a curious footnote in the saga of a complicated season. For Kuminga, the path forward is filled with both risk and opportunity, whether that's proving Kerr wrong in Golden State or blossoming elsewhere as a player unleashed. For the Warriors, the decision carries legacy-level implications. They're not just deciding the fate of one player. They're signaling how they intend to close out the Curry era and what kind of future they want to build once the dynasty finally gives way to something new. And for fans, the emotional roller coaster continues, with every rumor, every whisper, and every headline pulling them deeper into a story that is far from over. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.